No matter how energetic and how visionary you are, the vicissitudes of life will beat you to a point where one day you will get to a point where you will have to stop and catch your breath. It has nothing to do with backsliding. It proves you are a man, and it proves you are alive. For as long as you are on this earth, you just need to live a little longer, one more hour, one more day, one more second, and you will find a need to say, ah, God, I will need your help. God designed it that way to make sure we don't forget him. He knows that there is a tendency in us. So he allowed that limitation to force man to always need him. Your spiritual connection. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 26. Please just give us that one. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 26. The Bible says, with men this is impossible. Anchor men, with men, by October till December, it may not be possible to make anything out of your finances or out of your life. But when you add God to any equation, the calculation changes. Anything plus God is the answer he gives. With God, it is possible that in 1 week, God can program a climate of favor over a man and wipe the shame that came from January till September. There is a God in heaven. Please hear me. God is not an experiment. The monarch of the universe. Regardless the noise that is made by the pride of men from nation to nation, we submit that there is a God in heaven. Are we together? So your spiritual connection is the first pillar that ensures your dominion. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. Paul was mentoring the church in Ephesus, and then he began to tell them that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Paul is saving you years of shadow boxing. He's saying any physical thing you see happening, don't approach it just physically first. That there is always a spirit supporting it. It was James speaking to the church in chapter 2. Don't turn there, just right. And verse 26. He was teaching on faith and works, and he veered up to say, for as a body without a spirit is dead. So every body you see has a spirit. Do you know trouble is a body? There is a spirit behind it. An unfavorable situation is a body. There is a spirit behind it. When Jesus calmed the storm, there was the wind and there was the wave. You could only see the wave, but there was a wind energizing it. Life is spiritual. There are forces that continue to fraternize with human entities across the globe to see to it that the saints in light are victimized, to see to it that families are subjugated. There are horns that continue to speak. Zechariah saw them. What seest thou? And he said 4 horns. He said these are the horns that have lifted up themselves against Judah, against Jerusalem, against Israel, so that no man will lift up his head. He said, but I have sent 4 carpenters. Please believe it, there are horns. Africa, hear me, there are horns. The devil will not cross his leg and watch your influence rise. He knows what will happen. He has already seen your worship in the secret place. He saw you rolling before God in the secret place and saying, God, as you rise me, as you lift me, your name is also lifted. It was not only God that had the worship. It was not only God that had the confession. Satan had it too, and vowed a vow that as far as this family is concerned, I will see to it that this one who is becoming a rising star will come down. But there is a God in heaven. That when God gets up and shakes himself and say, I am ready to lift you, there is no power in existence, no fraternity of men. I tell you this, history is full of men and women who were shocked when they saw the finger of God writing. Listen, God does not seem to move every time, but every once and again through history, he will say, men, shift. Let me show you once and again, so that you will teach your children that God is still alive. And I believe that soon we're getting to a point where God is about to make a statement in this country, in Africa. He's about to make a loud statement, I am God.